Hi, everybody. I forgot I had y'all on mute. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You guys already know what we're here to talk about on this lovely Thursday, baby. It's been quite the motherfucking week, and we're going to get into all of the deets, all right? But before we do so, go ahead and run those likes up. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So make sure that you guys are clicking the thumbs up, the like feature, okay, to get the rest of the Conscious crew up in her. Also, make sure that you guys have your notification bell set to all. Also, if you enjoy everything that the King does over here, you can always donate to the platform via Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or paypal.me/Consciouztv, Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just how it is here on the platform. Last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, your Dark Side, the Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you in fat live the lane. Just let them whores know that we're loud, live, and we are in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What is going on, Conscious crew? Hi, everybody. Let me go ahead and get this up on the screen, chat. Let me speak to the Conscious crew in the building. You guys run all those likes up. Y'all know YouTube is playing on my head top. Look at my baby mother, Teresa. I told you guys, I mean, unfortunately, there's not anything I can do about YouTube not doing their part. So unfortunately, I have to suffer, okay? But baby mother says me and YouTube are beef and I haven't received notification from anybody. I have to seek and find my peeps. So I've been told by other subbies that a lot of other content creators are going through this as well. I told you guys YouTube is going through something. There's a lot of people who bond subs and who fugazi and who cosplaying as, you know, big channels when it's nothing but AI bots and shit. When that happens, YouTube slows down their system and starts the big purge, and it just slows down the entire platform, even for those who are integral enough, like myself, to be getting the shit up from the mud up, baby. Just working hard for every click and every motherfucking view, okay? So until YouTube gets done doing what they're doing, something like this could last a month. My screen or my stream may also glitch. We was having a lot of glitching going on yesterday, you guys. So all of that may transpire. So, you know, y'all just bear with YouTube, child, you know, but I apologize on behalf of YouTube. Something I can help with notifications is unsubscribing from a lot of dormant platforms. Like if you subscribe to 100 damn different channels and you only watch 10 out of the 100, it's probably time to retire and clear up your subscriptions, because a lot of people have noticed that when they unsubscribe from idle channels, that their notifications are more fluid. So that may help. Also, once again, make sure that you guys are thumbing up the video, because the more you frequent a platform, the more that platform's content, or the more that channels, the more you frequent a channel, the more that channel's content shows up naturally on your home page and or is recommended to you, and also supports the notifications, okay? So your frequenting of the platform will help with notifications. Thumbing up the video helps with notifications. Leaving comments and engaging with the platform also helps for YouTube to communicate you when I'm live, because everything you do on the platform, it translates. So if you press like, if you say hi, you don't even have to give your life story away. if you are engaging actively in the comment section or in the live stream, all that translates to YouTube as, oh, this person really likes this channel, so they're going to make sure to the best of their raggedy abilities, send you notifications, okay? So all those things help, you know, sharing the platform out. Of course, you can subscribe to Patreon. Patreon notifications are, you know, dead on and 100%, girl. Those emails go out every single time. You can also follow me on Instagram because I typically post to Instagram that I'm live. So you can follow me there. You know, all these things will help. But yeah, YouTube is a mess, child. But hey, baby mother Teresa, what's going on? Rumors and tea. Hi, my love. What's going on, Corey? Hey, Miss G. What's going on, Sherry? Hey, Caroline. What's going on, homebody? Who said, girl, let's go. What's going on, Shayla? Hi, Charity. Hey, babes. Hey, honey. What's going on? They love MJ. Hey, boo. What's going on? Thank y'all so much. Hey, Andre. What's going on, Sandra? Thank you so much. Your eyes are gorgeous. Okay, let's talk about the eyes. I'm old as hell, y'all. Okay, I'll be 40 in November. So I think I'm in need of some type of seeing apparatus. Okay, you know, I don't need the glasses permanently right now, but you know, on occasionally, you know, an occasional reading of tiny words, you know, my eyes get a real blurry and everything. So I need some type of helper outer in the eyesight department. So I'm considering getting me some glasses or getting me some contacts. So I'm experimenting right now with the contacts, okay? I'm probably going to end up doing both, all right? Also, these contacts come from a company overseas that make costume contacts, okay, aka non-medicated contacts, as well as medicated contacts as well. I'm going to be doing a review for them. They sent me 3 different colors. This is my first time working with this company. I haven't worn contacts since I was probably in my 20s. So this is an interesting experience. And these are non-medicated. I'm just wearing them to see kind of how they feel and all of that. But I'll get into all of that in the review. All right. So yeah, but I may be pulling up with the contacts, the medicated, baby, for shizzo. What's going on, Bubs? Okay, who got a wrench over here and barely damn use it? It's nice to see you in the building, Bubs. They got Bubs. What you think? What you think? I forgot what color these is, but can y'all see? What you think, Bubs? What is it giving? Bubs is the contact king, child. What's going on, everybody? Oh my God. Okay, see, Andrew says, same. Thanks to my girl for sending me notifications. Now I just need to remember to check my that part, okay? If it ain't one thing, it's a damn other. Hey, TW. What's going on, Renee? Hi. Hey, everybody. You are so young. I try. Hey, Auntie Jace. I need to get surgery on my... Oh, you know what? I forgot about LASIK. Is it LASIK surgery? Do your eyes have to be totally gone? Like just, you know, you just got all socket, you just bald in the eye socket, or, you know, can you get that type of surgery done even for like slight seeing problems? Because I might consider that. To hell with the contacts and the glasses, shall. I might just put an old nasty piece of doctor to these eyeballs. Yeah. All right, so we got to get into some things, y'all. It's a lot going on. You guys know Tyrone Blackburn, the ambulance chasing, no good, stupid. I don't know why he even still have a license ass, oily face, attachable plaits Negro who is out there representing Dwayne Youngblood against TD Jakes in a defamation lawsuit that TD Jakes filed against Youngblood last year, baby. And Tyrone Blackburn and Dwayne Youngblood have been getting their asses kicked, baby. Terribly kicked, all right? Things have cranked up real bad because this week, Tyrone Blackburn, as in yesterday, ended up being arrested for running over a process server a few months ago who was sent to serve Tyrone Blackburn his litigation papers from Fat Joe, okay, who needs all that work. All right. So we have no idea what's going to become of that. If they're going to be, well, he's been arrested. So now what the criminal charges are going to look like. How's this thing going to look? Don't do it. LASIK is extremely dangerous. Is it off the narc? Really? I can't get LASIK, but in your 40s, your eyes do what I know. I can't. Everything that my parents said is coming true. Baby, everything becomes very interesting once you get to that 40 range. I'm like, wow, these are interesting changes. Speaking of interesting changes, before we get into the thick of it, when I'm visual, you guys are probably going to see me in a mask because I kind of fucked up my beard on this side. You guys know I do my own hair, my own lineup. You guys, baby, perfection, honey. Okay? I was lazy a few days ago, and I end up kind of, cutting my beard a little bit too low. So I'm going to need that to grow all the way back up where it was. Okay. So when I'm visual, you guys going to probably see me masked up, child, until my beard gets situated on this side. All right. Now, Tyrone Blackburn got arrested, and the day before that, he had actually filed to the Pennsylvania courts that he wanted to withdraw as legal representation for Dwayne Youngblood. This is a mess, you guys. Now, we got into, all of the deets and did a bit of a catching up because, we haven't reported on the case in a few weeks. So if you guys need kind of all of the background, catch the last live stream. I'm going to try not to go over all of that too much in this live stream, okay? The judge responded to that withdrawal. Now, you guys know, I told you guys here first that half a piece, a write-up that Tyrone Blackburn did, he didn't even justify why he wanted to withdraw. He practically just said bye to the courts. And the courts pulled on that Kanakalian fiber and said, Miss Girl, we're going to need you to bust a whole U-turn here, Miss Mama. Where you think you're going, bitch? You are sanctioned. You got a court date for the 11th of next month, my darling. And you're going to answer to these courts for you attempting to defraud the courts. The judge is penalizing the living dog-ish out of Tyrone Blackburn. This is a very, very thorough response from the judge, not from Jake's attorneys, girl. This is from the judge themselves, addressing the findings of TD Jake's team, who were the first to call out that Tyrone Blackburn lied throughout his previous filings, was citing case law and quotations that didn't exist, misrepresenting other case law, and intentionally sought to do this. The judge has taken that very personally. Tyrone Blackburn is up for being found in total contempt. His black ass can end up in jail again. Okay? He can get that work. Grossly fined. And at this point, there's probably going to be a conversation. Hi, I am live. Hi.
Live and in color. Get back to work. I'll
Tell
let you later.
Hold on. Tell these folk hi.
You hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Tell these folk. Tell these folk hey.
Hello, folks. Hello, conscious folks.
And Okay, y'all. Y'all know I put my real people first, y'all. I do not let this social media shit come in between my real life, baby. When my first my intimate community, baby, okay? When they come to calling, they in need, baby. I gotta shut shit down. All right, so we bike, all right? And what the hell was we? I forgot where we were. So the judge is angry. The judge is upset. The judge has caught Tyrone Blackburn on his foolishness, girl. So let's just get into the Reid, child. All right. Now these contacts are doing the most. So y'all, if I'm tripping over words, I'm just skipping over whole sentences, girl. Blame it on Tyrone Blackburn, who also is using Chat GPT too, baby. He clearly must got seeing issues as well, bitch, because this might be the situation that might just totally end Tyrone's ass, girl. Now, we also are going to kind of skim through some of the preliminary stuff because the judge is going to be quoting, you know, the atrocities, okay, from his previous filing. But because we already done read Tyrone's fuckery and foolery, we don't need to go over all that again. So I'm going to be trying to stick to the important parts, y'all. All right. Defendant. Okay, hold on. Let me show you guys from the tippity top. Or maybe I can't do that, child. It's too much going on. Yeah, too much going on. All right. Defendant Dwayne Youngblood filed a notice of motion to dismiss, a supporting brief and a relief brief requesting the dismissal of plaintiff Thomas Dexter Jake's complaint with prejudice. Youngblood is represented by attorney Tyrone Blackburn, a signatory of the motion and briefs. Blackburn is admitted pro hac vice on behalf of Youngblood. While reviewing Blackburn's briefs, the court became aware of the fact that they contain wholly fabricated quotations from case law, including fabricated quotations from the court's own prior opinion. In addition to including non-existent quotations, the briefs repeatedly misrepresented case law. Jakes also noticed the issues with Youngblood's brief and addressed them in his brief opposing Youngblood's motion to dismiss. In his reply, Blackburn failed to offer an explanation for the deficiencies and fabrications in his brief. Instead, he brazenly attempted to mount a tu quo defense, asserting that a LexisNexis document analyst of plaintiff's own opposition brief reveals a pattern of misquotations, superficial citation, and invocation of authorities that are either in opposite or do not support the propositions for which they are cited. Okay, before we go any further, you guys. Hey, Fuzzy. Hey, Todd. Can you guys hear me clearly? Give me a 1 if the audio is clear. Can you guys heard me in the chat, baby? Can you heard me in the chat? Give me a 1, chat, before I proceed. I want to make sure that y'all eyes and ears are working accordingly. All right. Now, what the judge just said is that Tyrone Blackburn, after the courts and TD Jakes called out his filing and its fabrications and foolery, he tried to alley-oop and reverse uno TD Jakes by claiming that TD Jakes was responsible for the very things that the courts and Jakes' team were citing against him. So the judge says, baby, the court thoroughly reviewed Jake's response brief and did not find any fabricated quotations or misrepresented case law. Only Youngblood, through attorney Blackburn, submitted a brief replete with non-existent quotations and repeated misrepresentations of actual case law. Even more outrageously, a review of Youngblood's reply brief demonstrates that it too includes fabricated quotes and misrepresents case law. So not only did Youngblood and his attorney lie and fabricate in their initial motions to dismiss, but even in their reply to TD Jakes' team calling them out for lying and fabricating, they fabricated and lied some more. So they just doubled down on the demon time of it all. In other words, when accused of a serious ethical violation, Attorney Blackburn chose to double down. This is very troubling. The court views Blackburn's conduct as a clear ethical violation of the highest order. And on June 25th of 2025, Blackburn filed a withdrawal of appearance. Blackburn has legal and ethical duties under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11B and Pennsylvania Rule of Professional Conduct 3 and 3. An attorney as an officer of the court has an overarching duty of candor to the court, such as in case law cited there. Specifically, Rule 11B states that an attorney presenting a written motion to the court certifies that to the best of the person's knowledge, information, and belief, formed after an inquiry reasonable under the circumstances, the claims, defenses, and other legal connotations are warranted by existing law or by a non-frivolous argument for extending, modifying, or reversing existing law, or for establishing new law. Okay? They go on for more technicalities. Calling out violations of Rule 11 may lead to serious sanctions. Okay? Bye-bye. They are citing other case law where there was an abuse of the adversary system. Other case laws where merely incorrect legal statements are not sanctionable under Rule 11B2. Other case laws that states a lawyer shall not knowingly make a false statement of material fact or law to a tribunal or fail to correct a false statement of material fact or law previously made to the tribunal by the lawyer. Pennsylvania Rule of Professional Conduct. So the man took a chance after already being, his T was already clocked, and played in the face of a federal freaking judge, you guys. And instead of just like hoping the judge didn't see that and just trying to clear it up and going on to something substantial, the man gonna reply by reflecting or deflecting onto Jake's and then continuing to lie his asshole off. Baby. And now the courts have taken it personally, because the first time you was just playing in Jake's and his team's face. The fact that you doubled down, you forced our hand to review this mess. We corroborated Jake's team's findings. And now, baby, you're going to have to see us about this non-ethical behavior. The fact that Blackburn submitted fabricated quotations and misleading analysis of case law is plain to see from the face of the briefs. When reviewing Blackburn's briefs, the court was perplexed to see quotes attributed to the court's own prior opinion in this case, as well as other case law that was wholly fabricated. The court was also troubled to find that Blackburn repeatedly misrepresented case law to support his contentions. By way of example, the following italicized portions of Blackburn's brief supporting the motion to dismiss represent a sampling of the fabricated quotes, all right? So there are all those quotes there, right there, baby. This fabricated quotation purportedly from the court's opinion is repeated verbatim in Blackburn's brief at ECF number 43, page 6. Not only does Blackburn attribute statements to the court that do not exist, but he also twists the court's prior opinion beyond recognition. Baby, this man was at the paperwork hacking, y'all. Jason Voorhees, girl, this botching up case law, botching up the motion, girl. Literally, Tyrone Blackburn was getting his Frankenstein on with the law, baby. Okay? Sent these people a Frankenstein equivalent reply and motion. Blackburn claims that the court in ECF number 40 stated that 1, the complaint failed to identify with clarity the specific allegedly defamatory statements made by Youngblood, and 2, that Jake's allegations rely on conclusory assertions and lack factual content. The court made no such findings in its memorandum opinion. There is nothing in the court's opinion that could be reasonably construed as standing for such contentions. In that opinion, the court expressly refused to address the sufficiency of the complaint, stating that the court will dismiss Youngblood's motion because it relies, not Jake, it relies on statutory provisions that are not applicable in this litigation. So the courts verbatim quoted themselves in their response to their motion to dismiss. Blackburn trying to fight for his life, gonna tell the damn courts that that's not what they did and act like they actually agreed with him. And they're like, no, baby. We did not agree with you. We don't know what the hell you talking about. You just making up shit out of your ass. And if anything, what you claim we agree with you about when it comes to Jake's motion is actually what we said verbatim to you and your client's motion. Blackburn later states in reference to the court opinion that the court further noted that plaintiff's complaint failed to establish that Youngblood's statements were specifically of and concerning him. Blackburn stated, quote, the court independently noted the deficiencies raised in this Rule 12b-6 motion in its April 25th of 2025 memorandum opinion. The court observed the complaint's failure to allege specific defamatory statements, overuse of conclusory assertions, and lack of factual content supporting falsity and malice. Once again, the court made no such statements in the opinion, nor did it make any statements that could be remotely interpreting as standing for these propositions. So the courts are saying this Negro, this thick-necked mother didn't even just like stretch it. You know, there's a such thing as, you know, called putting 20 on 10. They're saying, baby, 10 never existed for him to even put 20 on it, girl. He put 20 on 0. He put 25 on ground zero. He put 20 on nothing, girl. Not that he expounded upon it, that he pushed the envelope with it. No, girl. Just literally. Just farting out foolishness, girl. Just farting it out, girl. And this goes to show you, girl, how much of a train wreck Tyrone Blackburn is. The fact that he is this. Now, if Tyrone Blackburn is this audacious, you guys, to federal judges and will be as bold and as reckless and as intentional and willfully deceptive to the courts, imagine what this motherfucker out here doing to everyday people. Imagine how this motherfucker gets down with everyday civilians, girl. If he actually thought he could alley-oop the courts and then double down when they try to hold him accountable and get him to respond to the T he done been clocked on, and continues to pussy pop on a handstand in the wrong direction. Even after being accused of making false representations in his initial brief, Blackburn's reply brazenly contained misrepresentations of law and partially fabricated quotations. The italicized portions of the quotations from Blackburn's brief below do not exist in case law. These quotes represent a sampling of the partially fabricated quotes contained in the reply brief, girl. So the judge says, bitch, we ain't even got enough paper. There ain't enough damn Xerox. There ain't enough AI. We don't even got enough AI infiltrating systems in place, girl, to line up all the lies, fabrications, exaggerations that this man cited in his dismissal. There ain't even enough time in the damn day on a federal level, girl. So the judge is having to condense Tyrone's foolishness as a sampling because the entire complaint is deficient. The entire complaint, Elijah, is a lie. The judge would have been better off just saying, refer to Exhibit 6, which is the man's entire complaint, girl. The whole thing is a shit show. My God, today. These quotations, and you guys see, look at all these lies, and more lies. This all the lies and the fabrications. These quotations are merely representative of the fabricated statements in Blackburn's briefs. There are additional fabricated quotations that the courts do not enumerate in this order. In addition to including non-existent quotations in his brief, Blackburn also cited cases for propositions that they do not represent. The court will not recite every time Blackburn misconstrued a case in his briefs as it believes the above quotations represent the most serious and alarming issues with the documents. Attorneys are permitted to make creative case comparisons and may even stretch existing case law to support their arguments. Nevertheless, advocacy is confined by Rule 11B and Pennsylvania Code 3.3. Attorneys have a duty of candor to the court. They must make reasonable inquiries under the circumstances to ensure their legal contentions are warranted by existing law. Attorneys may not fabricate non-existent quotations from case law or the court's opinion and may not cite cases for legal propositions for which they do not stand or even discuss. The court presumes that Youngblood's briefs were constructed by generative artificial intelligence used by Blackburn rather than an effort by Blackburn to personally construct false and misleading briefs. Do y'all hear what the hell this judge just said? Do y'all hear? Elijah, do you hear this? Beautiful One Styles, do you hear this? Rumors, do you hear this? Todd, do you hear this? The judge literally just said that Tyrone filings and briefs are so legally botched and horrendous and do not pass the vibe check that they would have to conclude that they were constructed by artificial intelligence, girl, at best ET. Let me tell you how nice this judge is also being, girl. The judge is in such a state of disbelief that the judge don't even want to believe that this is a result of Tyrone's own incompetency, but is still giving him the benefit of grace, girl, that, girl, this is so terrible. It's no way that an attorney who's been at work as long as you have, who passed the bar exam allegedly, went to law school, hopefully, could even produce these botched, hideous, alien, exotic creations. This is so unbelievable, girl, that we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt, girl, and say you misused AI and just did not review your work because we refuse to believe that our American education system failed you at this profound level, because this is outrageous. We're going to believe, we're going to entertain giving you the benefit of a doubt, baby, that you ran this thing through ChatGPT. We're going to do that. That you ran this thing through Siri, girl. We refuse. We refuse to believe that you are this dumb, uneducated, and that you are this wicked. Because, baby, if you did this, and it appears that you did, oh, well, actually, the courts are going to say, girl, even if you put it through AI, the courts go on to say, it doesn't matter, because attorneys have ethical obligations under Rule 11 and their state's representative professional canons to review every single document submitted to a court under their name and signature to ensure accuracy, candor, and overall compliance with ethical obligations. This duty is non-delegable. I kind of butchered that word up, okay? But I ain't the damn attorney here. So the courts are saying, bitch, you know, even if we try to give you the benefit of the doubt, the reality is it doesn't matter. You take an oath to be integral, to be well vetted and researched, and you are professionally and legally held to a certain code of standard as it relates to how you navigate through the legal system. So even if you had slid this through ChatGPT, it is still your full responsibility to oversee this paperwork, to make sure that everything is within proper standing. Even if you had a paralegal or you paid a bum $5 and a Big Mac to write this up, it was your responsibility before you uploaded it and submitted it to the courts to have reviewed it accordingly. So the fact that you still had the nerve to submit this shit, not one time, 2 times you did it. 2 times in 2 major filings and 2 major integrals. In this case, you lied, deceived, fabricated, manipulated, and played in our faces, even after we called you out and clocked you on it the first time you came back for round 2. An attorney who signs and files a brief authored by a non-lawyer, such as a paralegal, secretary, or intern, is personally responsible for all that it contains. The same applies to artificial intelligence. In other words, Youngblood could not outsource his obligations to the court and his client to a third party. I think they meant Blackburn, including artificial so-called intelligence. Whoever or whatever drafted the briefs signed and filed by Blackburn, it is clear that he at the very best acted with culpable negligence of his professional obligations. The alternative is that he acted in a conscious effort to deceive and mislead the court. At this point, in light of Blackburn's continuing offenses in his reply brief, the court is inclined to believe the latter. I got a theory for y'all. Do I want to hold it? Nope. I want to fold right here. Let's take a brief intervention. I think what possibly could have happened, either way, Tyrone takes the L in all caps, in either way. But could it be possible, considering that Tyrone Blackburn is working for Youngblood for free, and they're headed toward an L, which is a double hockey stick for Blackburn, that Blackburn had already started to tap out of the fouling, especially since he now clout chasing behind Diddy and clout chasing behind Fat Joe. Okay, he got other people to shake down, bitch, allegedly. Okay, and Fat Joe has promised to put his good DEI foot on Blackburn's neck. We'll get into that in the next live. Okay, could it be that since Tyrone can see that this well done ran dry, they not gonna get no payout, TD Jakes is winning this far, the whole case is falling apart on Youngblood's end, that Youngblood was like, you know what, nigga, we got dates. You know, we need to file. And because Blackburn was running behind other celebrities, he down there in New York to the Diddy trial. He doing everything else but paying Youngblood any attention, that Youngblood and Blackburn came to an agreement. Youngblood said, look, I can't afford to lose this fucking case. It's too much that's going on. And if this shit get to discovery, it can get real bad. You know, we need to really, 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 really float in this litigation. Since you ain't got the time, I'm going to run this shit through Chat GPT. I'll go ahead and have AI draw the shit up. Okay, AI's pretty good. So it'll probably be on point. And I'll send it to you. And then you approve it on your end and run it. And because Blackburn's so fucking raggedy, of course, he allowed his legacy and his legal standing to be in the hands of his client, all because he overselling to other motherfucking people, taking away good quality time that he's supposed to be investing into this case on behalf of Youngblood. But instead of Blackburn actually overseeing the damn document, he just went on ahead and signed it and pushed damn send. The fact that Tyrone Blackburn doubled down again, I'm not even sure if Tyrone Blackburn even read TD Jake's reply. He probably just knew they were calling his ass out and ripping up his dismissal, and probably ran it through Chat GPT again. Either way, girl, remember when I told y'all a few live streams back, I said, girl, Youngblood need to get rid of Blackburn, because Blackburn might be the ops at this point. Blackburn might be working for the other side, baby. Baby, maybe there's been some secret meetings behind his back that he don't know about, baby. And Tyrone Blackburn is throwing the case, bitch. Even though it's a landslide victory for TD Jakes at this point any damn way. But I would not be surprised if Youngblood drew this up on Chat GPT, sent it to Tyrone for approval, because Tyrone don't got the time to be fooling up with Youngblood at this point in a wash and rinse case when he got bigger fish to fry, like running behind Diddy and Fat Joe for a payout. And Tyrone Blackburn didn't even fucking read the damn Chat GPT write-up and just signed it. And then what probably happened is that when he got clocked by TD Jake's team for this foolishness, for this botched Frankenstein foolishness he submitted, he probably then actually did write up this dismissal or this reply, thinking he was really getting ahead, calling out TD Jakes for shit that ain't true. And I just don't know, like, what in the hell? What does he expect? Like, this nigga is lit. Like, if there was a chance in hell of Dwayne getting out of this lawsuit alive, if there was a chance in hell of Dwayne having some type of relief, some type of dismissal, if there was just any chance for anything that can be in favor of Dwayne, Tyrone Blackburn has literally squashed every possibility and probability and likelihood of any chance in hell for Youngblood to survive this thing and survive it well. And it's given, girl, did somebody cut a check? But then again, probably not, right? Because Tyrone Blackburn, this ain't his first rodeo. He done been sanctioned in 2-3 other damn litigations and called out by tribunals and judges. Him and that Brian L. Disbard Ponda, who was representing the Bling Bling Bishop, all the same type of motherfucker, baby. The same people, baby. Went to the University of Fraud. Moving along. And now, this 26th day of June, it is hereby ordered that defendant Dwayne Youngblood's motion to dismiss according to Rule 12b-6 and reply memorandum of law in further support of defendant Dwayne Youngblood's motion to dismiss are stricken from the goddamn records, girl. That shit was so bad, y'all. The judge had to strike it. Strike it. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. Y'all run the likes up, girl. Run the likes up. And for those of you who don't know, striking an order means that the court is removing or deleting something from the court record, such as a pleading, motion, or part of a document. The judge defaulted Dwayne Youngblood to 0, bitch. 0. 0. That's how bad. That's how much lies and fictitious foolishness. That's how illegal both of those replies were from Tyrone, girl. It had to be completely evaporated and obliterated, bitch, from the goddamn docket, y'all. My God, today. Is Flame in here? What's going on, Chef? Hey, boo. Hey, Flame. Hey, love. Pimping in the pool. You know it, child. It is a mess out of here. It is a mess, y'all. Baby, the courts had to strike Tyrone's both his filings from the legal docket because it was that Frankenstein, baby. All right? You see it here? Stricken, girl, stricken from the record. In accordance with Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12A4A, Youngblood must answer Jake's complaint on or before July the 11th. So the judge is taking Dwayne Youngblood back two motions ago. They're going to have to do a redo. How in the hell is that going to happen? Especially with Tyrone being checked out, his ass in jail. He just got arrested yesterday for running a damn process server over a few months ago in the Fat Joe case. The goons after his motherfucking ass. Baby, the feds after his motherfucking ass. Is the judge going to even allow Tyrone Blackburn to withdraw at this point, especially with the due date as early as July 11th? Because obviously, Youngblood can't write this up himself. Even though, hell, at this point, he probably could do a bit of a better job than his own attorney is. And the fact that a due date is this quick, because I haven't read this before I came live to y'all. So I'm reading this in real time with y'all. So I don't know, hell, what the hell is going to happen, okay? But the fact that they have to redo all this shit, the last 2 filings, which were really lengthy, they have to do that all over again because the judge done phoenixed both their damn motions out of the docket. This must mean that the judge is going to keep Tyrone ass on this case, baby, whether he likes it or not. Because it's no way if the judge was going to plan on approving of his withdrawal that the judge would have set a due date for July the 11th. The judge would not have done that. So, Tyrone Blackburn, baby, you working for free, bitch, and you're going to take this motherfucking L. Okay? In the end, Tyrone, I want you to tell me how TD Jake's ass smells. Because he got you lodged in their head first, baby. It is further ordered that Blackburn is ordered to show cause not to exceed 15 pages by July 18th. So not only is he making Blackburn write up the last 2 motions, a total do-over by the 11th, he making Blackburn ass show cause by the 18th. This means that Tyrone Blackburn is going to be working harder than any goddamn field slave for the next 2 weeks, girl. That nigga gonna have rope burns, cotton picking burns on his goddamn hands, girl. The judge is working Tyrone Blackburn harder, baby, than an enslaved Israelite at this damn point. He got to do all that, you guys, by the 18th. And that's on top of having to deal with Fat Joe suing his ass. One of his other clients just took the stand in the Diddy trial and caught Tyrone Blackburn out. Said she had to fire him for the same fuckery he's doing here. And he got his own goddamn criminal cases for trying to run over this damn process server. Woo! As to why his statements in ECF numbers 43 and 46 have not violated 11B and Pennsylvania Code 3.3. So the judge want him to answer for his foolishness, baby. The judge want to hear his best argument as to why the hell the judge should not throw the entire book at his ratchet ass. Specifically, Blackburn is directed to thus show cause as to the fabricated quotations and blatant misrepresentations of case law and the court's opinion in his briefs. Possible sanctions include, but are not limited to, monetary sanctions, including attorney fees related to the litigation of the motions at issue, revocation of Blackburn's pro hoc VJ status or vice status, and any other sanctions deemed appropriate by this court. It is finally ordered that a show cause hearing will be held on July 24th of 2025 at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom AB for Blackburn to show cause as to why sanctions should not be issued relative to potential violations of 11B. If Jakes plans to seek attorney fees in relation to the litigation surrounding the motion to dismiss, Jakes and his counsel must attend the hearing. Otherwise, all parties and counsel are welcome to attend the show cause hearing, but only Blackburn's attendance is required. Okay, so there's going to be two different hearings. There's going to be a show cause hearing on the 24th. Okay? The judge is giving Jakes and his team the opportunity within that show cause hearing to argue for some relief on attorney fees, because basically Jakes had to pay his attorneys for nothing in these last few filings because they essentially were responding to nothing. Nothing. Jakes came out of his pocket and paid his attorneys tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to reply to non-legal litigating. So the judge is like, look, we can make him run you some money because you paid your attorneys for nothing. Nothing. And the fact that I'm making them redo their filings, and you're going to have to spend more money to do what you already done did in these two frivolous replies. Yeah, I think you deserve some relief, Jakes. I think you deserve some compensation. Rightfully motherfucking so. Like Ruins and T said, I love this judge. This judge is fair. This judge don't take no shit. This judge speaks truth to power. This judge, is making sure that both sides get their just dues. Because remember, this same judge also ain't been playing no favors with Jake's ass. Remember when Jakes asked for that early discovery? And the judge said, it's too early for that. And you haven't even listed Larry Reid as a official co-defendant anyway. We're not going to grant you that. We'll revisit your request when discovery naturally rolls out in the case. Cool. So this judge is not fazed by Jake's fame but he's also not going to hold no punches with the plaintiff and their legal representation either. This is a judge that is literally on it, integral, fair, and is running his courtroom, baby. This is why Tyrone wants to leave the case. No, truth teller, because if he wanted to do that, my love, he would have never lied to begin with. Instead of lying and running the risk of pissing off the damn judge and trying to defraud the damn courts with fake case law, exaggerative legislative quotations and shit, he would have spent his time just pleading a genuine case of why he needs to be relieved of representing Youngblood. Because this damn sure wasn't going to save him. Lying and playing in the face and then doubling down and deflecting after your T got clocked was no way to get the judge to approve of you leaving. And then the way that Tyrone Blackburn even spoke to the courts as it relates to leaving was almost in the vein of him telling the courts what he was going to do rather than seeking their permission to do it. Because Tyrone Blackburn doesn't have the single sole power to decide that he's leaving or not. That's in the judge's hands. An attorney don't get to just turn around. I'm glitching so bad. An attorney don't get to just turn around and decide, hey, I'm done with the case. No, it don't work that way, baby. That judge has to decide how that's going to happen, if the grounds for you wanting to terminate your representation is on sound ground or not, because the whole scheduling of the case is going to have to revolve around accommodating that if that's going to happen. So no, attorney is not just at liberty of just leaving a case because they're not getting paid or because they frustrated or because they bored or because they don't want to lose. Oh, no. And even if those are all the reasons that they want to leave a case, they can't and don't have the sole power in and of themselves to walk out that door. They have to have permission. Just like attorneys have to seek permission, especially when they are representing in other states, permission from the courts to come, they got to seek their asses to motherfucking go. Oh, yes, baby. Sister Craft says, oh, child, those eyes got the flavor, baby. I'm in my doomsday era. I told y'all 2025, y'all, right? I was going to be in my, what you call it? It's an anti-villain. What you call it? Oh, what is it? What's the term I'm looking for? They're not a hero, but they're not a villain either. Is it an anti-villain? It might be anti-villain. It's a term for it that I'm looking for. Oh, what is it? It's anti-something. What is the fucking term? Oh, let me look it up, child. Let me use ChatGPT the way it's supposed to be used. Take one out of my book, Tyrone Blackburn. Let me show you how ChatGPT is done. Not supervillain, but it does mean anti-hero. But I thought there was like another term for anti-hero. I thought it was something else, not anti-hero. I guess it is anti-hero. An anti-hero is a central character who lacks traditional heroic qualities, often exhibiting villainous behaviors. While they may do some good deeds, their motivations are usually self-serving. Okay, yes, but I told y'all, yes, I'm in my vigilante. I'm in my vigilante era. I'm in my anti-hero era, where even when I'm appearing to do good, it's good. It might not be for the reasons y'all think I'm doing it. Because this era is about me. In this era, baby, in this season, I don't belong to nobody, bitch. I am just here for the truth of it all. Okay? Wherever that land, however that may be, I have freed myself, baby. Yes, baby, I'm the Robin Hood of YouTube at this point. I'm in my Robin Hood era, girl. Okay? I've had enough. Okay? So this is the mess. So the judge is going to he's forcing Blackburn to show the fuck up in an in-person hearing on the 24th, 1:30 p.m. in courtroom AB to answer for his manipulations and defrauding of the court system, and is giving Jakes the opportunity to seek attorney fees in relation to the litigation surrounding the motion to dismiss. Jakes and his counsel must attend that hearing if they in fact want attorney fees. If not, Jakes and his team are still welcome to attend the show cause hearing, but only Blackburn's attendance is required, because ultimately this hearing is about Blackburn and chastising his ass, punishing and penalizing his motherfucking ass, humiliating and subjecting his ass to the wrath of the courts. Okay? They're going to allow Jakes to get his lick in too, if he want to get in on those attorneys. Baby, snap, girl. The judge is showing out at this point, bitch. The judge is showing out at this point, girl. Jakes didn't even have to ask for attorney fees. All that Jakes' team does was clock Tyrone's T and all the lying he was doing. The judge is deciding, baby, he done ruled, girl, and said, look, girl, you entitled to some compensation for some pain and suffering, girl, because you spent unnecessary moolah fighting non-existent case law, girl. That's not fair to you, Jakes. That's not fair. So if you want to get your lick in, if you want to put your boot from the ground into his ass, you show on up on July 24th of this year in room 1B p.m. at 1:30 p.m. in room 8B. We don't mind making you feel good on the 24th, sugar. And even if you don't want those attorney fees, just come and look at the ass whipping we're going to give them. We're sure you will at least be emotionally and mentally satisfied by what I'm going to drag. Baby, I'm going to burn the black off his ass. I'm going to make him earn Blackburn, baby. On the 24th at 1:30 p.m., bitch, it's going to be a lynching in the courtroom, girl. So if you just want to come to get your gag in, if you want to come, baby, just to salivate in the suffering of it all, to see your enemies, baby, charred down, baby, okay? Just come and get a front row seat, baby. Even if you don't want nothing but to be petty and to be able to bear witness to the lashing, to the 72 legal lashings we gonna give to Tyrone Blackburn's ass if you pull on up. Oh, yes, you do. Otherwise, all parties and counsel are welcome to attend the show cause hearing, but only Blackburn's attendance is required. Blackburn shall provide a copy of this order to his client, Youngblood, and file a notice of compliance on the court's docket after doing so. Blackburn's attempt to withdraw as counsel in this action does not insulate him from the repercussions of his actions. His pending withdrawal of appearance will remain under advisement until the resolution of the show cause hearing, girl. So the judge has ruled, girl, your ass ain't going nowhere, bitch. You're going to answer for your crimes against humanity on the 24th of next month. You're going to run Jakes his money if he want that. And then only after all of that will I decide if you are worth seeing in my motherfucking courtroom, because I may just let your ass go for the simple fact that you, bitch, don't deserve to even be here with your non-lawyer and non-litigating ass. You disgust me. Girl, so the judge may be so personally disgusted with Blackburn, child, that he may relieve him. But the judge really want to keep Blackburn ass on the case because he started this shit, and the judge really want Tyrone to finish this shit. Remember, Tyrone is the reason why Youngblood is even in this shit to begin with. Remember, Youngblood just wanted to come through and go viral and then griff off TD Jake's name by writing books and shit and use Larry's platform to do it through. To get his numbers up, to get his viral up, to get his clout up. So he can then tell an even more salacious tale of him and Jake's in these books he wanted to sell. Because remember, he was broke as hell and working a part-time job coming into this lawsuit. The lawsuit was never the goal. Remember, it was Larry who told us right here on the CTV platform that Blackburn commented under Larry's TikTok video of the interview with Dwayne and said that Dwayne had a case. And from there, Tyrone was linked to Dwayne, and under Tyrone's tutelage and instructions, Dwayne agreed on an alleged attempt shakedown of Jake's, hence the $6 million demand letter that went out to Jake's. Jake's returned fire and said, fuck you, and filed against Dwayne instead, bitch. Talk about a cowboy showdown. So the audacity to have pulled your ass into the picture, pulled your ass into the group chat, encouraged this man to start fucking with TD Jakes behind the paywall with demand letters. And now you want to bow out when you the reason he even in this shit to begin with. But let me tell you, I can already get a sense that this judge really tries to be really reasonable and fair, try not to let his personal feelings get involved. So I got a feeling that this judge is going to probably, after he gives Tyrone Blackburn that everlasting work, baby, probably is going to approve of the dismissal because he can see that Dwayne doesn't have fair and ethical, integral, legal representation. And it's not the judge's decision, right? It's not the judge's time to pass a judgment right now. It's not for him to decide that also Dwayne ain't shit. And Dwayne is, with a lot of the foolishness too. That's not his job right now. His job is just to do what's in the best of the litigation, to not further complicate shit. And he know that keeping Tyrone around probably is going to cause a lot more fucking issues, considering all the outside drama that Tyrone Blackburn also has going on. He got his own cases now for running over process servers. Fat Joe after his motherfucking ass, sending the Mexican goons girl to his apartment complex. It's up. Now, with that being the case, if Tyrone is let go of, this is going to pose even more problems to an already broke-ass defendant. Because remember, Tyrone is representing Youngblood for free. So if Dwayne already couldn't afford an attorney, how in the hell is he going to afford one now? And he's going to pay out more money than he would have had initially, because any attorney that he's bringing into the case to pick up where Tyrone left off at is not only going to have to get paid to take on the case, get paid to then commit to the case going forward, but it's going to have to get paid also to study the docket and what has happened since the lawsuit, which attorneys work by the hour. How in the fuck is Dwayne going to afford all that? How is he going to pay an attorney to play catch up and also run that attorney its retaining fees and have to be responsible for paying that lawyer for the time up till conclusion of verdict and trial? How? He came into the litigation working a part-time job, struggling to find attorneys. So what the hell gonna happen now? This is a mess. Unless Larry is going to cut Dwayne a check. Do y'all think that Larry is going to cut Dwayne a check? Is Larry going to run up the tab? Is Larry going to take care of that? Since he kind of too is the reason Dwayne in this shit. And now Dwayne need a check, baby. He needs a goddamn check, or else he's going to get even more washed and rinsed, baby, through this whole process. Oh, yes, he is. And here's the thing about it. Jakes is also after Larry in this litigation. He wants a discovery on motherfucking Larry. He's this close, girl. He one piece of fried chicken away from listing Larry Reid as a official co-defendant in this case. Larry actually has an added interest in helping Dwayne if he was smart. Because if Larry let TD Jakes get a hold of Dwayne ass, no counsel, trying to self-represent, pro se, baby, it's going to run the risk of them getting successfully to discovery, TD Jakes being able to get successfully approved to also run discovery on Larry Reid. And if there's anything in the communications with Larry and Dwayne, Larry, Dwayne, and Tyrone Blackburn, Larry, Dwayne, Tyrone Blackburn, and all the rest of the goddamn John Does, if there's anything that looks conspiratorial, even if it wasn't intentional, if any of the communications and back and forths and all the planning around the interviews and how they were going to pivot baby, if anything looked like what TD Jakes said he believed is going on, now Larry gonna have some motherfucking problems. Now, Larry is probably the only person that Dwayne has as a financial resource. Because it's clear from the fact that he was working a part-time job coming into this case that he ain't got no damn rich friends. But the other conflict of interest is that if Larry helps him at this point, it's going to look even more damn conspiratorial than what it already does. Unless Larry cuts the check to an outside party who then gives that money to Dwayne on behalf of Larry so that Larry's fingerprint and involvement can't be known and witnessed. That'd be the only other way around it. Because if he was to directly give and back Dwayne's defense, it's going to be a mess. Because Jakes is already citing conspiracy. He already believes that Dwayne and Larry are in a coup, that they're in a digital cabal, and that this was all a plan and a scheme that Todd and them set up. Jakes already believes that. Now, let's talk about Larry while we on Larry. Larry has an opportunity to redeem himself at this point. Larry has said profusely, at least here. I don't know what he done said on his platform. I don't know what he done said across the other dark parts of the digital universe. But at least what he has said here, in the face of his critics who said, Larry, you're jealous of Jakes. Larry, you have a vendetta against Jakes. Larry said in response to his critics that, no, I don't have an issue with Jakes. I actually supported Jakes initially. I have no unique predisposition toward Jakes. I'm just a blogger who covers stories, and I can't help if Jakes has been a story that's come up again and again, a time or two or a time of 14, I can't help that. I can't help that. I'm just a commentator. And y'all didn't have no problem with me running down on nobody else. So when I'm running down on your fave, don't have no issue either. I can't help that there are stories that people want to tell about Jakes. And I have allowed my platform to yield to some of those dynamics and situations and circumstances. But Larry has professed over here to his critics that he does not have anything against Jakes. That's what he proclaimed. Now, nobody believes that shit, but that's what he proclaims. So I'm going to give Larry his way out. If Larry means it, if Larry has pledged to the allegiance to the TD Jakes flag, sit before the divided states of America and to the courts who oversee this litigation from which it stands, Larry confessed one truth under God in liberty, that he has no vendetta against TD Jakes. Then what he has to do in continuity of that is call out Youngblood and Blackburn. The only way for Larry to maintain the continuity and the substance of his proclamation that he doesn't have any issue with Jakes, then he's going to have to publicly come before the same people he have told these stories about Jakes to, and in a integral fashion call out the foolishness and the lying and the underhandedness and the explicit fraud that is being committed against Jakes in this litigation. Because even a judge is able to call it and see it as that. That's the only way to make it believable. Because if Larry really does have no issue, and I don't know whether he got a real issue with Jakes or not, but if his proclamation optically and publicly is, I don't have an issue with Jakes, then you should have no issue calling out both sides and not just revving up Youngblood side and Blackburn side and playing down TD Jakes side. Because TD Jakes is whipping ass in this litigation. I don't give a fuck what delusion everybody else lives in. It don't matter what Larry say, baby. They can throw shots at Jakes in this litigation. They can throw shots at this defamation. Jakes is whipping fucking ass and has been from day one in this lawsuit. Youngblood wanted to smoke. Jakes gave him the motherfucking fire. Y'all asked Jakes for a conversation. Jakes said, sure. I'll give you just that in a court of law, bitch. Y'all been asking me to have the conversation? We'll have it in the court of law. Where there can be a real system of integrity. Where there can be some true accountability. You want me to have the conversation? I got you on that conversation. Right in the motherfucking Pennsylvania court of law in room 1B at 1:30. TD Jakes has acquiesced. TD Jakes has obliged the conversation. Okay? So this might be a lesson in, baby, be careful what the fuck you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Okay? You might want to add that stipulation. Jakes, could you have the conversation over here with me on my platform, the Larry Reid Live podcast, bitch? Not in the court of law world. Okay? Might have should have added that little stipulation. But that would be the redeeming pathway for Larry in all of this. If Larry is claiming to be an integral blogger, he's claiming to be for truth. He's claiming to be able to be objective and not have a personal bias or prejudice. And he's also in a situation to be gathered because Jakes is calling on that name. He has more than enough reason to take this opportunity that this lawsuit has given now him to publicly call out Dwayne and call out Blackburn. If Larry doesn't do that, that's going to imply something very opposite of what Larry's proclamations have been, specifically toward Jakes. Because of all that proclamation that I ain't got no issue is rooted in absolute truth, you shouldn't have a problem going live and saying, look, y'all, I gave Dwayne as a platform. He wanted to share his goddamn story. I'm seeing what's going on in the litigation. I'm seeing what the judge is calling out the other side for doing. I don't stand for that. I can still believe in Dwayne's story. I can still believe in what he claims he experienced. But I don't stand for lying and coercion and manipulation and strong-arming and going about shit the way that things are now being gone about. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what I signed up for. And because I truly don't have no rooster in the race, I don't have no problem calling out all of their asses, from Jakes to Youngblood to Tyrone Blackburn. That's the posture that Larry needs to fucking have. If what he proclaimed is in fact the truth, that he has no fucking issue, he has no rooster in this race, he has no none of that, then this is his opportunity right here to be non-biased as fuck. And to call out the foolishness. Call it out. Call it out. Because the truth is, all of them are responsible for why all of them are in this situation right now. They've all played their part in their hand to create the circumstances that led to this lawsuit. And Larry has an opportunity to reclaim his integrity. He has an opportunity to make it make sense. He has an opportunity to be that guy. Now, whether he'll take that opportunity to do the right thing, which is to call out the fuck shit, I don't know. That's for y'all to see, baby. And for y'all to report back to me. Because I got other shit to do, baby. Okay? I can't pay attention to every damn thing. But I do see this as an opportunity for Larry to stand in what he wants to be accepted as the truth, which is that he ain't got nothing to do with this and he has no personal issue with Jakes. Then you should not have any personal issue with the two people that you platform, Blackburn and Youngblood, who are literally playing in not only now the face of the court of opinion, they're playing in the actual court of motherfucking law. And as the king of integrity, that's been Larry's leading brand. Integrity. King, put on your motherfucking crown and reclaim your fucking integrity. For the sake of your own brand. For the sake of your own character. Call out the foolishness. Because this shit that Tyrone Blackburn is doing on behalf of himself and Youngblood in this litigation, in your words, is out of motherfucking order. Hold on. Who says out of order? I don't know who be saying out of order. But whoever says out of order, this is out of order. So that's how I think Larry can reclaim his shit. Call out Youngblood and call out Blackburn. Thank you, Gabriella. Let me read some of the comments. Larry do have a bee in the bonnet, in his bonnet when it comes to Jakes. We just don't know what it is. Rumors and T says Larry's ego hasn't allowed him to see the error of his ways and correct it. Goddamn. They say pride comes before the fall, baby. Okay. I mean, I hope that's not the case. Let me see here. Rumors also said that Jakes ain't talking to Larry Reid live. It's been too much said for too long. Jake said the shakedown will become the takedown. Yeah. And look, I don't think that Larry calling out Blackburn and Youngblood will help him as it relates to Jakes. I think that him calling out Blackburn and Youngblood will help his brand and help his own inner man. It's an opportunity for him to self-correct without that being rewarded, because a lot of self-corrections are not going to be rewarded because it's a self-correction. It's I'm deciding to be this person. I'm deciding to be a truth teller. I'm deciding to be in pursuit of the truth. I am deciding to be integral, to be responsible in the position that the universe, that spirit has put me in as a content creator, as a public figure, as a pastor, as a whatever. So this is a appeal to Larry for Larry's sake, not even per se to soften up TD Jakes. Because to your point, Rumors, I think we all can see that TD Jakes is past the talking point. That's why TD Jakes did not even respond to Larry's public, his public, whatever the fuck, I don't know what you want to call it, his PSA, when he said, anybody who has a problem with any of the commentary that I've done on them, you can contact me at LarryReidLive@gmail.com, and I will gladly take those videos down. I don't know where the videos came down or not, but according to the people, the interviews with Youngblood are still up on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm going to assume TikTok. With that being said, TD Jakes never entered the group chat. That's why those videos are still up. And what that tells me is, well, that makes a lot of sense, because why in the hell at this point anyway would Jakes be asking Larry to take down anything when the damage is already fucking done? And Jakes has already put his lawyers and his money on it, and he not gonna put his diabetic heart in this shit. So it's too late for any apologies or for any redos and undos, but the correction that I'm making Larry aware of as an opportunity within this intersection of the lawsuit is more so about his opportunity to reclaim his integrity before the people, not Jakes. Jakes is on wartime. He's in war mode. He's in ass-kicking mode. There's no undoing that. Jakes has become a Category 5 storm. He's on the way. He wants to smoke. He heard all of the whistleblowing. He heard all of the, if you do this, Jakes, this is going to open up a can of worms. All your ops and all the people you done abused and all the people you done been having an affair with are all going to come to the forefront. Jake said, is that so? Let's see if that's the case. Pow, pulled the trigger. He tried and tested everybody's motherfucking claims by pulling the trigger on Youngblood. Really? You say that the people I've abused, you say the people that I've been having extramarital affairs with. So you say that suing Youngblood will open up a can of worms. So you say. Let's see about that can. Because I got a can opener. Are you going to provide the worms? I'm willing to provide the can opener. Are you willing to commit to providing the worms? The court will be the can. Jakes did his part. He gave everybody an opportunity to be a real ass nigga in this situation. He gave all parties who've been talking shit the opportunity, all parties who've been putting names and stories on his name and on his legacy, he gave them the opportunity to live up to all of that. And all we got were 8 affidavits, which 6 of were by convicted sex offenders and criminals. This is why Jakes is whipping ass. The lawsuit that was supposed to potentially destroy Jakes and be problems for Jakes has ended up actually being an opportunity for Jakes to reclaim his crown and to, if anything, expose everybody else as liars and grifters. Because Jakes put everybody in a situation to tell the truth. Larry knows all about this tactic because Larry did the same thing with the blogger that was cyber stalking him. Oh, really? You say you got a hard drive? Really? You say I got victims. Since you need that, let me run you that lawsuit. Larry did that to Levante. So you say I violated you. You say I hurt you. Okay, I see you need that. Let me run you that lawsuit. What did Levante do? Run, girl. Run so hard, he ran and took the blinds off of the motherfucking house he did the interview with Unwind with Tasha K in. The house is barren. The bitch ran so hard from Larry's lawsuit, girl, he ran with the furniture and the wall painting in tow. Jakes did the same thing. He gave all of his naysayers the opportunity to make all of their urban legends about him true and factual. He wants the worms. He's beggeth to bring forth the worms. That's yet to arrive. So, all the more reason why this opportunity is of quality substance for Larry. If I was Larry, because I'm a PR person, so I look strategically for opportunities to okay, opportunity here, got opportunity here, like I see the way the universe lining shit up. This is the perfect opportunity for Larry to stand in the continuity of, I ain't got no problems with Jakes. I ain't got none. If that's the case, this is the perfect opportunity before Jakes line your ass up as a potential co-defendant because discovery is still coming. And the judge did say that he was not completely unwilling to give Jakes that. He just didn't want to give Jakes that early. He said when we get to discovery naturally, we can reconsider. So with all things given that's on the line and all things given that Larry has professed, this is the perfect opportunity for him to call out the other side, to be truly neutral, to be truly balanced, and to stand in the continuity of, I ain't got no issues. Larry may not do that because Tyrone may come after him next. Tyrone not gonna do a motherfucking thing because Tyrone is a convicted felon who's on parole, who couldn't even afford an attorney to begin with. So what funding? Oh, wait a minute. I thought you said Dwayne. Tyrone ain't either. Tyrone don't want that smoke. Tyrone doesn't have enough ethics and integrity to fight for any of his self-professed integrity. Tyrone is after bags. Tyrone is a clout chasing, alleged ambulance chasing attorney. He's out here trying to find every which way to get motherfucking paid. And he's not going to sue Larry because it also would open up the can of worms on the whole Dwayne TD Jake shit, which Tyrone now is officially vacuumed into since he has represented Dwayne. So it's too much of a conflict of interest for Tyrone to come after Larry, for Dwayne to come after Larry. And once again, look, if there's anything in the communications between all three parties that look like what Jakes thinks is going on, Larry doesn't have to get out here and make an enemy of Tyrone. He doesn't have to get out here and make an enemy of Dwayne. He just has to be integral enough, like he's being with Jakes, to just call out the truth and call out the fuck shit. There's a case going on. You gave the defendant a platform. You linked the defendant to Tyrone Blackburn. After Tyrone Blackburn contacted you about the defendant and Tyrone Blackburn, who have both been on Larry's platforms, that he's publicly acknowledged and aligned with, are now in a litigation as a result of those interviews, being called out for attempting to defraud the public and get over on the legal system. Mr. Christian and Mr. Integrity, it would be in his best interest to take the opportunity to do that for the sake of his own brand and his own soul salvation, to actually live up to that. You know, we're talking about integrity being in action, not just a proclamation. And I think that that would help Larry continue to be seen as someone who can be trusted, someone who can be believed in, because Larry's reputation has gone to shit the past few years. People do not feel the way they feel about Larry how they used to. A lot of people have left the LRL camp, a lot of supporters, a lot of Patreon members, a lot of church members. It's been a lot of people that have fell away. And there's almost not one single comment section where Larry's name is mentioned in any regard that isn't riddled with people who are just non-believers or ex-believers or people who just cannot make sense of the way Larry has moved and some of his own controversy in collaboration with some of the ways in which he has moved and him going back on his word after confessing to... See, people want to hold Larry accountable, but Larry isn't the kind of person you can really hold accountable. When Larry first started talking about Jakes again, people were telling Larry then, hey, you said you got away from all this shit, this exposing shit, when the Manasseh shit had popped off and all that, the Carter and Pearson stuff popped off. People were like, look, we thought you moved away from this because you had said a year or two prior that God told you to get out of this line of work. God told you to leave this type of shit alone. God told you to graduate and to evolve and transcend. That's what you had said. Nobody had put that expectation on you. Nobody else had put that pressure on you. That was between you and God, according to what you had said about why you transitioned your platform. Now, Larry also has a big problem remembering the shit that comes out of his motherfucking mouth. So he'll argue with you down, baby, that he ain't said something that he done said 18 damn different times in 18 damn different languages just to confirm and validate it. And when you make public statements and proclamations to people, and that's what you choose to do, you can't turn around then and be a dickhead to people when people are holding you accountable and responsible for the shit that comes out your motherfucking mouth. That's fair. That's fair for any audience. That's fair for any consumer to do. On the back of this medicine, of this bottle, of this lotion, of this hair bleach, there is a list of ingredients. If I found out it ain't nothing but air in the shit I'm using for my scalp, bitch, I have a right to hold you accountable for false representation. The public has that responsibility. Larry has kind of been a little wobbly in even how he responds to criticism, how he responds to rightful criticism and accountability. Instead of just dealing with it head on and having a professional response to the situations he's allowed his mouth to put him in by making these declarations and letting everybody in on why he's doing this and why he's leaving that alone, etc. And then when people watch you backtrack and pussy pop and got questions, yeah, it's raggedy to then talk shit and block people and cuss them out in the chat instead of actually showing up. Instead of showing up in that moment. Because all people are doing is holding you responsible for what the fuck you say. So, all of Larry's personal controversy, along with the way that Larry is zigzagged in his behavior, on top of the fact that, I mean, I don't think you could associate with some of the worst people. Like, a lot of what Larry has done over the past few years has just not been well for him socially. Larry still may be successful in other areas. The businesses and stuff he's growing in Ghana or wherever the hell it is in Africa. But on the social front, in terms of being who he came into this game as, there has been a lot of dings to his crown. And those things don't have to end up being scars. He can redeem himself if he's willing to really take responsibility for everything that comes with the crown, not just the fun, glamorizing, sensationalized, monetary aspects of the crown, but also the parts that call for you to be a motherfucking man, for you to be a motherfucking brother, for you to be a real motherfucking friend, for you to be a real motherfucking community leader. All the hard shit the crown also calls you to. There's opportunity in what's happening now for him to slowly rebuild himself. I personally think that Larry has a genuine call on his life to be of influence, to be a person who has been assigned to do very wonderful things as it relates to the spiritual community, as it relates to, you know, just humanity and people and to systems. But Larry, like anybody else, Larry is a man. And no matter what he proclaims, how much God or propheticness, he's also equally just a motherfucking man. And if he doesn't clean that shit up, what's residual from his childhood trauma, what's residual from his adulthood trauma, his own mommy fractures, his own family fractures, if he doesn't clean all that shit up entirely, Larry will equally be going to that cross alongside his enemies again and again and again and again and again. He'll be having a very salt and pepper experience. For every good he do, somebody will be exposing his ass on the back end. Some shit will be going down on the front end. There'll always be something to lose. There'll be a price always for any good works he do, because of all that shit that's in his wagon. Now, this is also the reason why all are called, but motherfucking few are chosen, because everybody doesn't have it truly in them to understand the assignment in its entirety. Everybody doesn't have and want the commitment to the level of work and self-accountability and introspection and humility required to do what they've been assigned to do in the capacity in which they've been assigned to do it in. I want Larry to win. And there's opportunity for him to get back to that. Just in the simple act of being bold enough to call out the fuck shit and the foolishness in this situation as the person who ain't got no issues with TDJs. Sweet Love says, Larry gonna feel the heat this time. This has the support of every passer he ever spoke about once it goes viral. not a Jabba the Hutt, baby. Ego is such a drug, and if one doesn't check it, its ego will bring destruction upon you. Yeah. Andre says, I say don't even bring up other CCs at all. Conscious hasn't involved anyone else in this conversation, and neither should we. This has to be hard enough to do without us riling up other CCs against him. Thank you so much, Andre, for saying that. Yeah, because I don't give a fuck about those other bitches. And I don't need to talk about them other hoes in order to hone in and be specific and to put an address on things and to speak to what I'm speaking to. Okay? I'm speaking to what's well for Larry and what's in the best interest of Larry. And I've watched Larry take enough L's in his personal life and his professional life. And I would want him to get back to all that he could be, all that he's been called to be. But that would totally be up to his decision fully. It's his soul salvation to work out, child. Okay. Okay. I see what y'all saying in the comments. Conscious, you are the truth. I like you, man. Thank you so much, Adante. I appreciate you, boo. I appreciate your love. My God, today. All right, so let's get to some other parts of this thing, child. I think I only got 2 more notes. Which one is it? Let me see here. I'm still here. Youngblood. Okay, so there are some conversations going on about if Youngblood is going to get into some issues, some legal issues, because he's currently on parole. He has to register as an ex-offender for the rest of his life. And if this lawsuit could potentially give him some legal issues, especially if a verdict is rendered against him in favor of TD Jakes, the question is going to be no. Civil suits do not typically impact criminal matters. So unless there was something in this particular civil suit that is like related to any stipulations of his parole, etc., then this civil suit is not going to impact all of Dwayne's criminal issues. Youngblood. Okay, so remember, TD Jakes debunked all of Youngblood's affidavits, okay, which you guys know were from a bunch of other registered ex-offenders and rapists, my God, today. Will that breach Dwayne Youngblood's parole? No. There's nothing in the law. There's no legal precedents. There's no legislation that prohibits ex-offenders from being able to be in community with other ex-offenders. So Youngblood is allowed to have friends who are ex-offenders. He's allowed to live with other registered ex-offenders. There's nothing prohibiting that, as long as, you know, everything is in accordance to the stipulations of his parole. Yeah, there's no like law in place per se that just prohibits criminals from being able to be around other criminals. Matter of fact, if anything, other ex-offenders are going to be probably the only people he can really be in community with, because, I mean, you know, who else is willing to align with you? You know, other than other people who got to take that quarterly mugshot. I also think that all of Tyrone behavior in this litigation, as well as his own alleged criminal behavior outside of this lawsuit, is not doing anything good for Dwayne Youngblood to already come into this lawsuit as a defendant, as a registered sex offender who violated his parole because he could not stop communicating with underage individuals, to then proving through the affidavits that you're still in relationship to other criminals, And on top of that, your attorney is actively defrauding the criminal justice system and now has other legal issues of violence. Outside of this case, man, I don't know who had the voodoo for Dwayne ass baby. My God, today, this is all bad, bitch. I mean, this would be a PR person's worst nightmare. I would rather find a whole nother profession than to be the person hired to attempt to do PR for Dwayne Youngblood in this case. It's all bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. It's all bad, you guys. It's all bad. Now the question is, right, what's going to happen? Yeah, I don't know. This shit is so crazy and zigzag, y'all. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how the thing is going to work with Tyrone wanting to exit the litigation. If Tyrone does, they're probably going to push some things back. Trial's probably going to be pushed back. Discovery's going to be pushed back. I don't know who going to write the check for Dwayne. He couldn't even afford Tyrone. Tyrone's representing him for free. I'm sure he ain't got his coin up since then. It's bad, y'all. And if Jake's get a hold of Larry ass, baby, it's probably going to get far worse before it ever gets better. Because if the judge allows TD Jakes to open discovery on Larry, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a shit show. TD Jakes is going to pull out all the stops. And we know that because he's already subpoenaing YouTube about other YouTube channels and getting a hold of people's identities so that he can run them lawsuits as well on them AI ran YouTube pages. TD Jakes has forensic analysts on deck. He's putting his money behind his vengeance. And now that he retired from the Potter's house, he ain't got shit else to do, baby. But to start all this shit up. But to stir all this shit up. If the courts allow Jakes to open up discovery on Larry, there might be some real big issues with all of that. I discussed what those issues would be in my last live, so you guys catch that. All in all, girl, Jakes is whipping ass. It's another win for Team Jakes, girl. Once again, we will be reporting on the docket. There's going to be some updates, you guys, on the 24th. There's a hearing in person. Tyrone is obligated to show the fuck up and answer for his lies. He also has deadlines to file to Jake's previous filings on the 11th, as well as show cause for withdrawal on the 18th. So there's going to be some movement in the first quarter of July, and then a court date toward the end of July, you guys. This is going to be a mess, child. This is going to be a fucking mess. All right, let me read the rest of y'all's comments. Yeah, look, Larry, look, he's going to have to come out of he's going to have to do his big one, girl, if Jake calls him to the table, girl. But Larry already said here on the platform, girl, that he's going to be a snitch if he's vacuuming to this thing. So what's interesting about that, right, is like this is going to create a domino effect if TD Jakes calls Larry into this lawsuit, either via co-defendant or via discovery. Because the findings will shed light on possibly other people and other things that then turn into other things. And it's just going to be a snowball and a snowball and a snowball and a snowball and a snowball. So Larry has already said his way out is going to be telling on everybody else. And look, baby, they ain't no honor amongst co-defendants, baby. Larry already said, bitch, it's going to be every man for himself, girl, because he's going to be windmilling for him, girl, if he gets vacuumed into this lawsuit. Oh, yes. So everybody else, girl, best to be prepared, child, because Larry's going to take everybody down with his ass, baby. If he got to go, girl, Larry already said he ain't going along, girl. That's what Kenny and Judge Faith are doing. These celebs have had enough. I hope celebs continue to not settle and take these people to court. Yeah. Shout out to my baby mother Anya for the old nasty piece of child support check. Thank you, baby mother. We're working. I miss you. I miss you. I'm gonna call you, Anya. Shout out to you, baby. Okay, sweet love says LOL. I bet other pastors are matching. Don't. Oh, that's another thing, girl. Is TD Jakes being backed? Even though, he don't need it, of course, I mean, he's a wealthy multimillionaire himself. But yeah, I'm sure that a lot of other pastors have reached out to Jakes and have said, look, they stand behind him. Maybe they have felt victimized themselves by Larry's brand. So I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, he's being backed. If not in donations, at the very least in just moral support of what Jakes is doing, for sure. For sure. Andrew says, damn, Larry, he's begging you. Well, I don't beg. I'm not begging. I just asked the driver to roll up the partition, please. Okay? And I just made an appeal, for Larry's sake. Okay? CTV ain't got no stake in it, baby. I don't give a damn what Larry do or don't do, baby. If he take the opportunity to call out Tyrone Blackburn, etc., that would be that would be great. If he don't, that's on him. I ain't got shit to do with that. But Andrew says, damn, Larry, he's begging you to look in the mirror and course correct. What must feel like a rebuke should be embraced and used as a measure for all in your life. If they love you, they won't watch you self-destruct. Yeah. I got an old saying, I ain't always got to like you, but I love you. I ain't got to always like you, baby. But, love is love. And yeah, I would not want to see anything happen to Larry, but if Larry has been inappropriate, if he's been out of motherfucking order and he's put himself in a situation to be held accountable, then accountable is what the hell he deserves to experience. It's accountability. And it's true that 3 people work together to create this chain of events, and that would be Tyrone, Larry, and Dwayne. Let me see. Rumor says, yes, because I asked the question earlier about, okay, Dwayne having contact with, okay, got it. Affidavits, got it. I think if you're on probation, on parole, you can't. Okay, so, yeah, because he is on parole. Okay, yeah. So if he wasn't on parole, there wouldn't be an issue. But because he is on parole, I'm sure he has to stay away from other convicts. Okay, I forgot that his old ass at his old ass age is still on damn parole. Leave the children alone, Dwayne. Okay, they done told you can't be talking to them via Twitter, MySpace, Facebook, email, comment section. Leave the children alone. Is it too late for an apology? Look, I'm a believer in fighting for your life to the end, baby. So, Dwayne should, hey, it can't hurt you. Not at this point, baby. Send that fruit basket and that apology letter, okay? Do what you gotta do, girl, because in this economy, it's too much shit going on, girl. We about to live through World War III, girl. Cost of goods gonna be high. If the cost of goods haven't gone extinct altogether, child, ain't nobody got time to be, just throwing money toward a damn lawsuit. Ain't nobody got time to be giving the courts they damn money. Ain't nobody got time for all that. So, hey, get your palm readers on it, baby, and see what the hell the tea is. You know, see what this thing, I don't know what they did, pull cards or throwing bones over there, bitch, and I'm trying to predict, girl, what the tea gonna be, but whatever it is, honey, if the tea is piping hot and you on the unsavory part of that tea, yeah, baby, it's time to start launching apology letters and fruit baskets, baby. It's time to start backpedaling and pussy popping and not giving a damn what the optics got it looking like, baby. Let people think you a loser. Let them think you a coward, baby. I wouldn't give a damn. Wouldn't give a damn, baby. Because who got the time? Not me. And over what at the end of the day? Over what? Over what, really? Because the reality is, right, Jake's going to be Jake's forever. And no amount of exposing Jake's is going to change that. Nothing. 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 There's only one situation I can think of that could actually open the floor underneath TD Jakes. And I'm pretty sure that situation is never going to come to light. I'm pretty sure of it. Because of it in and of itself, you know, allegedly things have gone over and beyond to make sure that thing never comes to light. If that thing ever came to light, that would be the only thing that would open up the earth beneath TD Jakes' ass. The rest of this shit, TD Jakes being gay, bisexual, pansexual, being at freak-offs, loving men, being in an open marriage, nobody gives a damn. Jakes done retired. Jakes done made all the money he gonna make. And Jakes is in a similar situation to Tyler Perry. He's a beloved cultural figure, and people gonna rock with him. The amount of people that would fall away won't register in any substantive way. With that being said, there's one more point I had to make. And I just lost it, but I just found it. What the fuck was it? It's one more point I had. Damn. It'll come back to me. All right, so that concludes, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself, girl. It's a mess out here. Hope you guys had a great time here. If you enjoyed yourself, you guys already know what to do, baby. Show that Cash App some love. $ Consciouztv and or paypal.me/Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here on the platform. Email me all the tea at consciouztv@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and all that good jazz. And leave all of your questions and everything in the comment section, child. And I will be there to. And I feel like I had one more thing to say. Damn, I really wanted to touch on it. And it just slipped my mind just like that. Fuck. What is it, CTV? It was something I wanted to touch on. It'll come back to me. I'll see you guys later. Peace.